Hi, Captain Mike here with you again. Today we're going to make a very simple, basic batch of soap using only what is required to make the soap. No additives, no fragrant oils, no colorants, nothing like this. This is a simple soap that will be similar to what your great-grandmother might have made on the farm. The only difference is we are going to use very pure ingredients where your ancestors or my ancestors would have had to use rendered lard and whatever type of sodium hydroxide or lye water that they could make or acquire, and most of the time it was not pure. That's why they had to cook it for a long time and stir it to get rid of the impurities. But today we are going to use vegetable shortening instead of lard. There's no difference in the two. They both make a great soap. Just a few of my customers don't like animal byproducts in their soap, and so to appease those few people, and because it makes no difference, I'm going to use lard, which is what I use in all my soap now. Excuse me, I'm going to use vegetable shortening, which is what I use in all my soap now. We are going to use 16 ounces, and excuse me, man, I'm getting this all screwed up. We're going to use 14 ounces. I'll put it in the microwave. It'll take approximately 6 minutes to melt that. And we're going to use 2 ounces of beaded sodium hydroxide. It comes like this. Red Devil Lye is the same thing. If you can find it at a big box store or it's just a drain cleaner, just make sure it says sodium hydroxide. It'll work. Don't get the liquid stuff. Get the powdered stuff. And 4 ounces of water for a grand total of 6 ounces of lye solution. That's for those of you who want to look it up. That's a 33% water discount, and as you learn how to do this, you'll understand what I'm talking about. There's different formulations, but we're going to go with what I use. We're going to make it in this container right here, and we're going to use various pieces of equipment. There's a blender and a whisk and that. Make sure you have your glasses. Sodium hydroxide is caustic. It will burn you if it gets in your eyes. It will make your day miserable. It could be dangerous, and you won't have gloves because it will burn your skin. Not to mention, if you've got a cut or a scrape on your fingers, it is painful. Even for an old guy like me, whenever I have a cut or something like that, it just lights my world up. So get you some cheap gloves. Harbor Freight sells them cheap, and buy all your cheap stuff from Harbor Freight like I do because it's expendable. So what we're going to do first is we're going to mix the sodium hydroxide. Remember this so you can see good. And here is the first word of caution. Never, ever, ever pour the water into the powder. That is extremely dangerous. It will cause a chemical reaction. That stuff will bubble, and sometimes it explodes and blows out of the container. It'll get on you. Never do that. Always, always pour the sodium hydroxide into the water. Slowly. Get you a bamboo skewer and just start pouring it and start stirring it. It's real simple. It dissolves very easily. Now, as this sodium hydroxide works, it's going to cause heat and noxious fumes. So you don't want to be right over it. You don't want to breathe it. It wouldn't hurt for you to have a little fan blowing on it. And let me get another skewer here. That skewer kind of died on me. We use a chopstick. Chopstick works good. Just kind of wants to solidify in the bottom here just a little bit, but that's not a problem. It'll come right on loose, and we just stir it. And just continue to stir it as carefully as you can until it goes completely until it is completely dissolved. Just stir it around here. And once it's completely dissolved, set it aside. And we will let that cool. The next thing we're going to do is take the vegetable shortening, and I'm going to put it in the microwave, and I'm going to zap it for approximately 6 minutes in 3-minute intervals. And I'll be back to you, and we'll continue to make this soap. Okay, we're back here with our melted vegetable shortening, and it took about 6 minutes in a 700 watt microwave on low to get it to this state. Now let's just recap real quick. I used 14 ounces of vegetable oil, melted it in the microwave. I took 4 ounces of water, and I slowly poured 2 ounces of sodium hydroxide from this cup, it's powder. I slowly poured that into the water, and I stirred it until it was dissolved. That gave me a total of 6 ounces of lye solution. So now we're going to mix up the soap. And all you have to do is pour the melted oils into a container. I use this container. I could have used this one rather, but I used this one because it's a little bigger, and I'm going to use the blender because it's faster. So what you do is you take your blender and you put it in there, and you turn it on, and you slowly pour in your sodium hydroxide, lye water. Now I hope you remember to put on your safety glasses, because when you use a blender it kicks up little pieces of the batter, if you will, and you'll get them in your eyes or on your hands or wherever. Now I mix this stuff until it's just about a little thinner than pancake batter consistency, and that's all you have to do. This blender beats it up very fast and it mixes it. All you want to do is make sure you have all the sodium hydroxide blended with the oils. Make sure your blender gets all the way to the bottom, go all the way around, make sure nothing's stuck to the sides. Shouldn't be anyway, but you never know where a bubble of that stuff might be. You do not want encapsulated sodium hydroxide in your soap that does not saponify. So once you got that done, you'll take your little container, you'll pour your soap into it, as so. Take your little spatula, get all of it out. Just like that. Okay. That is all you have to do. Go up and get some bubbles out of it. That's all you have to do to make a simple batch of soap. This will come out very white, and it should come out pretty hard. It might take a few days for it to harden up really good. And it will be soap overnight. It's about as long as it takes is about 12 hours for it to saponify. It will start to do the chemical reaction, and it will create heat, and then it will turn into soap. and cool, and you have to just wait until it cools completely. And once the saponification is complete, you can take it out of the container. It will still lose water content or moisture over days to a week or so, and get harder, but it will be soap and you could use it tomorrow. So what I do is I go ahead and put a top on it, and then I take a towel and I set it on the towel and I cover it up, and this just helps retain the heat. You can do a different job, you can do it different ways to retain the heat, but you want to retain the heat as much as you can. I actually have a styrofoam cooler that I have designed to put my big batches of soap in, and it has a heating pad, and it keeps it at about 80 to 100 degrees overnight, and it really saponifies good. But that's for another video. I will let this sit, and I will be back with you all, and we will, when it's soap, we will take it out of the mold, cut it, and we'll show you what you've got. Okay, we're back with you with the soap, and as you can see, it's nice and white, and we'll turn it over, and boom. Now, it's still kind of soft, all right, so you have to be careful with it. It needs to dry. But what I would really tell you to do is let it sit like this and let it harden up a day or two before I cut it. But I'm going to go ahead and cut it here just to give you an idea. We're going to cut it into 4 pieces, okay? Little thing I made out of a coping saw, piece of fishing line. Makes a great cutter. That's for another video, and so here we go. We will cut it down like that, and we'll cut it like this, and we'll just go ahead and finish cutting it all the way down. Normally it cuts smoother than this, but I have a box I cut it in, but this is what I have. A little on the crumbling side right now because it's so soft, but that's what you have. You have a bar of soap. So you set that aside and you let it harden for a while, a couple of days, whatever you can stand, and you have homemade soap. If you like this video and you're interested in it and you can't find what else you want, because a lot of people have soap videos, but if you can't find what you need, I will do more videos. The next video that I have planned is one about the different ingredients that you can add to this: colorants, fragrant oils, different kinds of oil additives that have certain properties, and I'll do a video strictly on those. I could do a video on how to build a soap mold, how to do a soap cutter, and basically on how I do a large loaf of soap and cut it up. I don't mind doing one of those. Just let me know in the comments whether this is interesting enough to you that I should pursue it. If you like this video, click like, and go on YouTube if you're a member, and subscribe to my channel, and I appreciate it. Thank you.